bar, if you're interested in conversing with a woman, she'll sit with you, she'll lean on you, she'll give you all the attention you want as long as the drinks are flowing. And the bar manager is happier than a clam on a sunny day to see these women who are basically bait to get these guys to buy them drinks because they're going to drink on their own. That's money to the bar. He's going to buy drinks for the girls. That's money in the bar. And it helps pay the expenses of the very women that the bar manager uses to attract these desperados. It's pretty sad. And a lot of these expats, the only way they're ever going to have any women around them if they pay for their time. And boy, do we know so many on here that do that, don't we? First thing they go to, they get their hotel room, and next thing they're hanging around a seedy, smelly, nasty bar with whores eager to please the manager by getting those drinks flowing because that's his business. It's a bar after all. It's not a candy store selling candy. They're selling liquor and they're selling dreams to the foreigners that think they're such studs. And all these women hanging on them. It just kind of fills their ego. But in reality, they would never get women, decent, respectable women, to be interested in them in any form or way. So that's why a lot of them come to the Philippines. Pay for play is what it's called. Pay for play. Pay for play. And you look at their faces on their videos, and they're very proud. They're smiling and laughing and happy as they clean out their wallet, buying drinks for the women. And it's the only companionship they could ever get is to pay for it. Because most of these jamolis will never, ever be able to get a woman other than going to a bar and paying for the time. And they're getting older too. Everybody's getting older. Time is running out, besides your liver falling apart, which they don't care about. They wind up dying at a younger age from the alcoholism and chain smoking and things like that. Combination. If not from their bad attitude, where somebody kicks the shit out of them because they've gotten too rowdy or too cocky. It's just a time bomb that's waiting to go off in many different ways. Now, I don't know. I think the Philippines does offer some variety of things to do, I guess, if you really look for it, besides bars. And these alcoholics are not interested in beaches because if you ever seen their shows, you don't see them walking on a beach. No, you see them in a bar. They lay their camera on a stand on the table, and it's kind of a game of look at me. Look at me. The girls are all interested in me. No, sir. They're not interested in you. They're interested in you buying them drinks, paying for their time to make the manager a very happy man. It's a business. And occasionally you could bring one of these girls home. But it's going to involve money. They're not with you because they think you're so handsome and you got the coolest personality. They have absolutely no interest, nor do they see that. They just want your money. But it makes you feel like a real man, doesn't it? That's pathetic that you have to pay for your company. Oh, you might get excuses from the expat. I'm not out here to get married. I want to have some fun. That's my interpretation of a drunken alcoholic, anyway, best as I could. But it makes them feel like a real man. The only way they can feel like a real man is to drink and get stewed. They feel that I got to show this to the world. When I come to the Philippines, I'm going to have all kinds. Hello. I'm going to have all kinds of women around me. That's the only way you can get it. It's sad. Because the fact is, we use the term losers a lot on YouTube. And how we define a loser is many different ways. But one of the biggest ways you know they're a loser is, well, not being successful in their own country of getting women, having to pay thousands of dollars to travel, whatever it costs, from their country to the Philippines to chase some tail, when the money you spend on your trip and accommodations and everything else, you could do the same damn thing in your own country. It's going to be a lot cheaper. Oh, sure, the liquor is cheaper in the Philippines. Okay, you get a break on that. But you spend your time on a long flight, some of them not long flights, but long enough, and you're spending money. So you can't get a woman in your own country that you got to get on an airplane to a foreign country just to hang in a bar? You mean to tell me there's no bars in your country? There's no bar whores that you could pay drinks for? I don't believe that. No. It's such a sad display. Very sad display. They're not real men. They're not getting real women, if you know what I mean. They're paying for their time, where otherwise they would never, ever have the same opportunities with a decent woman that doesn't work in a bar, where you have to buy drinks just to have company. But it makes you feel like a real man, doesn't it? You're not a real man. It's all a fantasy. It's not reality as we know what reality is. Well, who do we got out there anyway? Yeah, this is a typical scene. And when foreigners meet up with each other, where do they go? They go to some seedy bar, all drinking away their pocket money. They're so proud that a woman actually talks to them. The attention they never got in their life outside of the Philippines. Hey, liquor speaks loudly. Money speaks loudly. Buy the girl a drink. Keep the drinks flowing. Keep them flowing. You have all the company you want all night long. And most of them go home alone. And even if they do get one of these women, they're going to pay dearly for it. Maybe less than they'd pay in the country they came from, but they still wake up alone after she leaves. They're back to being lonely again. A short, very shallow encounter with somebody that you had to pay money to even remotely be anywhere near you. But these women, they go through a lot of, shall I say, expenses in the sense that they have to, in order to earn that money, They have to go to bed with a smelly, hairy, ugly, bad breath expat in order to make that money. It's a very challenging job for these Filipinos to complete the process of filling their pockets with money. What they have to endure: fat, hairy, smelly, rude mouthed foreigners that under any other better circumstances they would never look at in any form or way. It's all about the money, and it's always been about the money with Filipinos of that caliber. If you haven't figured that out, you never will. Or you're too cocky to understand that the only reason they're around you, money or drinks, whatever, comes first. Okay, let's see. What's this? Donate to Ben Newton. Abbo and the fairy are cousins. Abbo and the fairy are cousins. I wouldn't know. Would I be surprised? No, I don't know. I don't think so. Excuse me. That's something I just couldn't do. Like I said years ago, and many years ago, for the sake of getting out on the weekends, I was a single dad and I needed a release. So I'd go out where they have live music and these clubs in the Seattle region. And it was a release, yeah. But, you know, I wasn't taking bar whores home. And the little drinking I did, well, it was kept to a minimum: a few beers. If I got real brave, I had a rum and coke, but I never continued that. It got old. I never really did like alcohol. Sometimes you drink to kind of loosen up a little bit your inhibitions. That's another reason they drink too, besides just being an alcoholic and needing the alcohol. It's just, they get uninhibited while they're drinking. They get brave. You would think that gets old for people, but it really doesn't. I used to enjoy just getting out, listening to music. I'd have a small group of people I'd hang with, but I never continued that. I moved on from that. I never drank regularly in my life at all. I'm glad I didn't. To this day, I've been living in the Philippines. I'd have to say 9 years, even though 10 years is my anniversary with my girlfriend, but it's not 10 years of living here. It's about nine because I had to stay in the United States for about a year with the COVID. So I could say 9 years of living out here and almost 10 years in a relationship. So 9 years, still long time, long time. And I haven't touched alcohol at all. I just don't have a need for it. Well, I'm different than other people. If I can't get a woman, if I have to wind up paying for her drinks to have company, I just couldn't do that. Well, it's always traditional if you're in a bar and you want to know a woman. She has expectations and you have expectations. You really want to get to know the woman, you got to be courteous. You got to buy her a drink. That's here over in America. I've had situations where a woman's bought me a drink, and you don't see that ever. The fact is, a woman could walk into any bar in in the world, without a penny, without a peso, and she'll have free drinks all night long. Good deal, huh? Especially if she's an alcoholic. she doesn't have to spend on alcohol. If she's halfway decent looking, and a lot of times, even if she's not, you've got a lot of desperados out there. Somebody's always good for a drink. The biggest lushes in the world, they're hanging around bars. They're going to dress up, put the makeup on, and they know 100% they're going to be getting free drinks all night long. Travel, learn, repeat, says D. The look at this person's face at the bar was like he was Superman, I must admit. Oh, yeah, the alcohol does that to you. The fact that they have any women around them at all, it's a fucking turn on for them. It's like, look at me. I'm in the Philippines and I'm having fun with all these quality women. You honestly think they're going to get these women without buying them drinks and so forth? Of course not. They're not accomplishing anything but making a fool out of themselves and getting drunk and stupid on camera. And we all know these women are not going to hang around them, especially what they look like, if it wasn't for free drinks. That's just the way it is. It's a sad life. Because you're getting older, and someday you're really going to need that companionship. And you'll know, especially if you're going to live in a foreign country. And a lot of these people, they claim that they have all this money from Bitcoin or whatever it might be. But maybe they don't. All right, girls. So they hear everything outside. All right, girls. All right. They react to each other. You know, I it's so fucking, it's such stupidity and such desperation. First call, a bar. Get the camera on. I got to show everybody that I don't live a boring life. I'm surrounded by women. Sure, because you're paying for it. Try doing that outside of a bar where no alcohol is involved. Try doing that. Try finding a decent, respectable Filipina outside of a bar. Well, you could do that. Just walk the streets. There are prostitutes in the streets that are not in bars. They're called freelancers. Sure, you could do that too. But it's the same thing. Find a decent, respectable woman. Then they might turn around and say, well, I'm not looking for a decent mate. I'm not looking for a decent, respectable woman. Blah, 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 blah. Line me up another drink there, beer tender. Line me up another drink. While you're at it, bring this woman a drink here. Ah, that one looks good. Bring her a drink too. Come on, girls, come over here. Say hello to the camera. Rah, 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 rah. Oh, yeah, they think they're Sunshine Superman. They think they're Sunshine Superman. It's all in their head. It's all in the booze. I hate bars. To this day, I hate bars. I've witnessed all the drunkards. I just can't be around people that are just drunk and stupid. Can't even talk. Yeah, I remember when I got away out of yeah, sit down. Come on, what's your name? I'm gonna buy you a drink. Oh, please, 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 please. I just can't do that. And then some of them get pretty belligerent when they're drinking too. They don't know how to hold their liquor. And as you mix certain things together, some people get really reactive. You know, they combine certain drinks and it's just they really get belligerent. I haven't even sucked on a beer in, ooh, fuck, over well over 10 years. Not even somebody offered me, here, at least have a bottle of beer with me or something. Over 10 years, I haven't touched a bottle of beer living out here. And even when I was in Hawaii for a little over a year, no, I didn't touch any beer at all. Offered to me, didn't want it. I wasn't interested in it. I want to deal with some form of reality, if there is such a thing. But yes, I take notice of this travel, learn, and repeat. Oh yeah, I notice people's videos. It's the same scenario, and it's usually the biggest losers that hang in the bars. They're having a difficult time in their own country of ever having a woman even look at them. But then if you look at these guys, well, you'll understand why. And that's why they make trips to the Philippines. They figure it's easy street to meet a woman out here. Not always, though. Not always. It's according to what kind of woman you're looking for. If you want to hang in a bar, sure. If the woman is desperate enough, she'll go home with you later on. Or you make your own personal arrangements where to meet up or whatever. If she's an opportunist to work in a bar for free drinks and so forth, then she's an opportunist to go home with you later on and make a little money that way to supplement the meager income that she makes from working in a bar, which is next to nothing. But then again, that's just me. I have my preference, and it's not hanging in a fucking bar. I don't even like the smell in a bar. You got these unwashed, sweaty expats in there that barely bathe, and that smell of stale alcohol and ambient cigarette smoke. And even though I smoke, I don't like being in a place that smells of beer, liquor, and cigarettes. You pass by these places in the street, and you can smell it from the street. And then I look at myself and say, you know what? You got it pretty damn good. That you don't need to go hang around looking for women in bars, and you don't have to drink in order to socialize. You don't need the liquid encouragement, the liquid balls to talk to a woman. You don't need to. You already have a woman. You don't have to go through that song and dance to find a woman like these expats do. It's a song and dance, is what it is. It is not the first thing I ever do when I walk off a plane. I've made many trips to the Philippines now, other than living here. But I never really even had the inclination to like meet anybody in a bar. I mean, hey, why don't you meet me at this bar? The closest thing I came to that was TGI Fridays, TGIF, when Ricky DeSicki invited me out for dinner, but it wasn't because it was the bottom of his heart. And he wanted to buy me and Gilda a dinner and socialize and have a show. It was something that was very planned out. We don't know all the details on that, what having to do with Barry Jordan. And if I wanted a drink, he would have bought me a drink. I wasn't interested. I would have bought myself a drink. I just don't feel comfortable in bars. A lot of rowdy people, belligerent people, people acting like they're fucktards because of the liquor. And well, they were probably a fucktard before they had a drink in them, but they were more of a fucktard after they were drinking too. Yeah, I know what you mean, travel learn. Look at the person's face at the bar. It was like they were Superman, I must admit. Yeah. And that's the only way they're going to be Superman in their own mind. I laugh at these people. I truly laugh at these. Well, I at least smirk. I'm saying to myself, yeah, the only reason you're having a good time is you're paying for it. I don't want to pay for any kind of shit like that. And even when I was in Seattle, when every other weekend or so, whenever I could, had the opportunity to go to a, let's call it a bar. It's a bar. It's a club, live music. I wasn't like, emptying my pocket, buying women drinks and they're all over the place just to sit down with me. No. If I was interested in a woman, she was interested in me. She comes sit at the table. I will politely, as a courtesy, would you like me to buy you a drink? But I didn't always offer. I didn't, there was even a time I was bought a drink and I said, wow, that's different. I like her buying me a drink. Where a lot of women feel that you owe them something just because they got something between their fucking legs. But hey, I got something between my legs too. You could buy me a drink. You could buy me some flowers or something on Valentine's Day or some candy. Men get caught up in this traditional crap. And even the commercials on TV on a special holiday, romantically, Valentine's Day or whatever, whether it's a commercial for jewelry, commercial for candy. What are you going to buy her this year? We got this lovely bouquet of flowers that she would like. Well, I don't know. Men like flowers too. It's not a feminine thing. I like flowers. I like flowers. Chocolates. But the way society is that no, you have to buy the women flowers and chocolates and jewelry. The rarity that you find a woman that does the actually opposite what their expectations are, that's a keeper. That's a keeper. That is a keeper. But men have got trained for this. Men are trained for this. That we feel that we have to shower them with baubles and all kinds of little frivolous things in order to maintain their company and time and carnal activity. They've been trained for this all their life. Imagine meeting a woman where there's no expectations. They don't have to buy her a drink. Just good conversation. Yeah, right. You're dreaming, Frank, right? No, they exist. And a lot of women that I've ever been with had nothing ever to do with a bar. That we never went to a bar. It was a simple 1-to-1. One person might have been attracted to the other. Found out that the other one was attracted to you too, whatever. That's how you meet. Oh, where do you want to meet? Let's go to this bar. Always a bar. You got to meet in a bar. You know why? Because the guy wants to loosen the woman up to get in her pants. It's all very structured. Or you're with your mates. You're in the service. So you sit around a round table and you got some bar whore under there giving you a blowjob. Ask the guy in Florida about that. Alcohol, the root of all fucking evil. People are killing people on the road because of alcohol. People giving each other diseases because of alcohol. Those studly guys that are putting notches on their belt or walking around with syphilis and other diseases, spreading it to innocent women or vice versa. Good morning, Region. Good morning. Well, I'm not a Starbucks person, but yes, that's better than a bar. That's a good place. Any coffee shop, any coffee shop, you know, that's the best way to meet a woman, not over alcohol. I mean, look, it's your gig if you do that. I'm not trying to stop anybody. I don't have the power to do that. I'm just saying it's been my observation, everybody else's. If you have to meet a woman in a bar, that's the worst place in the world to meet a woman. But maybe you don't want a long term woman. Okay, I'll buy that. Maybe you're out there just to get laid and have fun. And you want, their excuses. I want to enjoy my life. Why? By destroying your liver and by having sex with less than desirable women that have the potential of carrying some very serious, deadly diseases. Who wants to take that chance? But when you're all liquored up, you don't think straight. Oh, she looks good to me. Oh man, I can't even be around people like that. And one thing I don't do out here, I see, sometimes we get invited over to birthday parties or anniversaries and shit like that. They're all drinking. Well, even Filipinos can't hold their liquor either. And sometimes they do get belligerent. I don't want to be around that. People have gotten knifed. I just don't want to be around that element. That's my choice, whether you agree with me or like it or not, because you're probably a fucking alcoholic and you don't understand what it is to be straight in that way. I just can't do that. What's that region? You can tell by the tattoos and the confidence she has around tourists. Yeah, she was 2 out of 10 in Bali. Mr. Fazio says that's a sad lifestyle. Says region. It is a sad lifestyle. And what makes it more sad is that they really feel like they're heroes. They really feel like they're studs because they got this woman around them. And we know numerous people out here that do that regularly. It's not a badge of honor. It's not a badge of honor at all. If that's the only way you can get a woman to talk to, look what happened to poor Kevin. Poor Kevin. Kevin decided to fly to Coop, all right, to expand his horizons and get out of his aunt's basement. All right, good effort. He should have visited his kids, but no, it was more important that he'd go to Vietnam or whatever, Thailand. So the poor sap goes out there. I think he had a total of 14 months or something between Thailand and Vietnam. Mostly, what is it, Thailand? The guy never got laid. He acted like he did. And some of his supporters, no names, were saying, oh, yeah, Kevin had all kinds of women trying to cover up to save face for Kevin. Sad. And we know who I'm talking about, too, there. Oh, yeah, Kevin had all kinds of. No, he posed with some women. Doesn't mean he had a woman. It doesn't mean he got laid. But the poor sap, his whole existence, leaving his apartment, which was hard because of his leg, a lot of effort. That's why he's got knee surgery now. Hopefully he can walk around a little better. And I hope he can. Hope that works out for him real good. But his whole existence out there, he's spending so much money on just buying companions. This is a prime example. And you know who the other one is. You obviously know who the other one is. The other couple of them, actually. So Kevin would ring the bell. Oh, he's sorry he did that. He didn't understand the bell system at the time, I guess. How could you not know that? Ring a bell? Go to hell. You're buying the whole fucking bar drinks, sap. Jesus Christ, what were you thinking? Or not thinking? So Kevin's existence out there was entirely pathetic. You could almost feel sorry for him. Almost. If you're that stupid. I'm letting a lot of flies in here. Let me close this door. I'm gonna have to get my cup. I gotta start making my proverbial cup of tea here. What you looking, Ginger? What? What? So That's why he came back, although he had to use an excuse. Well, I was only on vacation. I wasn't planning on living out here. No, 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 no. It just happened. It just didn't work out for him. It didn't work out for him. He realized he was spending more money than he wanted to and had to rely on the help of other people to bail him out sometimes. Regent says the only people who can't recognize Kevin as a loser and his time in Southeast Asia was cringy to watch is probably a loser themselves. Failure in life. Hello, Allo. Good morning. Allo's been kind of a regular on my show here lately. Good morning to you, sir. I guess you get the gist of what we're talking about on here. Losers. You know. I gotta wait for the tea, then we'll wait for the water to. I mean, I wouldn't be proud of myself that the only way I could get a woman is to go buy her drinks and get her loose enough to be interested in me, because that's what you'd have to do, is to get these women plowed, all loosened up and all lubed up to be with creeps like these people. But Kevin's situation was sad in the fact that he wanted to. I mean, he was trying in his own way. Give him credit. He was trying his own way to get away from his aunt's apron strings and the basement apartment with all his little toys that made noise and flashed color and all that stuff. He made an actual effort to go leave that basement, go to another country, and try to find a life for himself. But unfortunately, it just didn't turn out that way. He got very lonely out there. I mean, extraordinary. Of course, he's not going to tell you that, but put two and two together. He got extraordinarily lonely. Got to the point he had to go to 7-Eleven, noted and documented. He had to go to 7-Eleven to buy ramen noodles rather than buying decent meals because his money was going down. Because the only way he was able to get women to even talk to him was to buy them drinks all night long. He always lived either near or on top of a bar somewhere, so it was convenient. And he couldn't walk very far and didn't really want to spend money on transportation to go to these exciting bars. Snappy Tom, Big Kevin is a 350-pound version of Barry with their bald heads. Well, I'm not going to attack him in that way. I'm just bringing up the facts about drinking, and the appearances do make a difference, because the truth is a lot of these women, I don't care if it's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, or Philippines, they're not interested in you. I mean, if we're talking about a bar, okay, and you can't be just flexing your muscles because you work out. Oh, in regards to Jim and Ricky, the one thing I will give to Jim, and I don't give him much, besides him being an alkie and all that shit, and a druggie, Jim would be able to tear the shit out of Ricky. There's no question about it. Jim has endurance. You're not going to see Ricky. You are not going to see Ricky doing push-ups and deadlifting weights and all that kind of shit. That's what Jim has got going for him. So if they ever did actually meet up, I think our boy Ricky would be in a world of hurt. That's a fact. I'm not sticking up for either one of these creeps. They're both fucking losers. But if something like that ever came down, now Ricky's been big mouthing it off, telling Jim to go meet him in Pattaya. Ricky would not allow that shit to happen. It's the liquor talking, it's the cockiness talking, but he would never meet up with Jim and they propose, see who's stronger than the other situation, see who's tougher than the other. Ricky would lose. I don't like either one of them, but Ricky would lose. He'd be annihilated by Jim. I'll give Jim that much, and I don't give him much. Jim does have some endurance training. It takes a lot, even at 54, to be able to do some pull-ups like that and push-ups and things like that. Not everybody can do that. I can't do that. Well, I'm considerably old. Well, not consider, but I am older than both of them. I can do 45-degree push-ups, and I do that nearly every day. No problem. I can do 50 or 60 of them without even breathing hard. I don't have anything to do pull-ups on in the house, or I try that, but I know I would not be able to do pull-ups unless you've been trained to do it. You've been doing it for a while. I tell it like it is. I don't make no bullshit stories up here. If I can do something, I'll tell you, hey, I'm able to do that. If I can't, I'm going to say I can't do that. And I can't do some of the things that Jim does. But then Jim has been doing that for a long time. Okay? You got to be trained to do that. Or you get yourself a fucking heart attack. Although Jim could have a heart attack. He's too much on steroids and he's too dependent on that. So I don't give Jim full kudos or anything, because if you're going to gain muscle, gain it the old-fashioned way, without steroids. Without steroids. Because nobody builds up muscles like that without steroids. Unless they do it the old-fashioned way, and they can achieve that. But steroids is going to build up your muscles where no training would take an awfully long time to be able to get a buildup of muscles. Wow, she brought these. Wow, look at these. A whole bag full of lemons somebody gave her here. They're all green, but still citric acid. I'm filling my tea. Wow, filling my teacup with this. Damn. You can see here, these are green. You probably say they're limes, but there's a question. What's the difference between a lime and a lemon? We got a shitload of this now. Do you know what these, let me tell you what these things cost. Let's call it a lemon. It hasn't ripened or something. I don't know. It's call it a lime because it's green, whatever. Do you know what they charge? Believe it or not, what they charge in a produce stand for lemons here is 20 to 30 pesos. So it's like 50 cents on an average, or 40 cents on an average for one fucking lemon. One fucking lemon. I kid you not. And we got this big old bag here. I better start drinking it every day and make good use of it, because it was a gift. And that stuff is expensive. Look at that. I hate about tea bags. Gets all stuck on your fucking phone. On your phone. On your fucking spoon. Hold on a minute. Let's untangle this hairy mess here. There we go. I got all the ingredients in here. That's a powerful, powerful cup of tea right there, my friends. We got ginger in there. We got turmeric in there, black pepper to synergize the turmeric. And we got lemon in there. And of course, it's green tea. All over my phone, too. Let me see here. Yeah, I never really went out and bought limes in my life. I've had key lime pie, but I've never. So, what is the difference? And I may sound like a fucktard, but that's okay. What is the difference between lemons and limes? Are they the same? Or contain a lot of citric acid? Different color. Are limes, if you give them time and ripen, do they turn yellow? I really don't know. I just buy lemons and they're yellow. I never eat limes. I never bought limes in the store. You could call this lime. I guess you could, although it's been referred to as lemons. So I don't know. Educate me. Okay, let's see. I didn't read it. Mike K comes in. Good morning, Mike K. How are you this morning? I doubt he is doing steroids. No, he says he's taking steroids. He's been taking steroids for 20 years. Says, I doubt he's doing steroids, but he's taking, yes, he's admitted on testosterone too, yeah, which he admits. If you are taking steroids in your 50s, your body probably can't handle it, and your health is going to go in a big way. Yes, I've always said that. I've always said that. Regis says lemons can be sweet, limes aren't. What you have is the biggest calamansi I've ever seen. So you think that's calamansi? Okay, so you say, what is calamansi? It's a lime. Would you say it's a lime? That's a Philippine name for limes, it's calamansi. Regent says, at Mike, nothing wrong with taking testosterone if your levels are low. Taking testosterone to increase your levels way past natural levels is steroids. Okay. Fazio says, Jim says he gave his Filipino testosterone. Jim said that? Who? He gave it to who? The girl he's hanging around? Now, he should be giving people like that. A woman has testosterone. You think it's just in men? They do have some testosterone, but you can't fuck with the hormone levels. And she can't be having an abundance of testosterone in her system. His ex, Dexel. What a name, Dexel. I never heard of a name like that in my life. Dexel. Where did they get these names out here? Well, yeah, there's some truth to testosterone because as you age, absolutely, you lose most of your testosterone. You can get tired, okay, and a lot of other things. But still, I wouldn't do that unless it was under the guidance of a physician who knew what the fuck he was doing. Oh yeah, you can get more energetic and all that stuff with testosterone because unfortunately, gentlemen, you know, if you're at my age, you probably got 5% testosterone left, perhaps, maybe. You said that on the live last week. God, that was not a smart move to give his chick testosterone. I just don't think that's a wise move. No expert on testosterone and all that shit, but I don't. A woman, as I said, has her own level of testosterone. All women do. But you can't bring it over a certain level. That's going to cause hormonal changes. She might even start developing hair on her lip, hair on her chest. What did he want? Another gorilla for a woman? Because he looks like a fucking gorilla? I don't know. Everything I hear is just so fucking sad and ridiculous and pathetic. And that's all I'm trying to say on this show. If you have to come to this fucking country, the first thing you're going to do is go to a fucking bar to socialize. Then you've got an alcoholic problem. And you've got a social problem, you know, big time. You want to meet women? Go hang around the mall if you have to. Pretend you're reading a magazine or just pretend you're communicating with somebody on your laptop. They all do that. They sit in the coffee shops, Bose Coffee, Starbucks, you know. And, you know, a lot of the Filipinos know that the foreigners go to Starbucks and places like that. Not a bad place to meet. Have a piece of pastry with your coffee or something. It's all good. And you might meet a different class of women there. Working class, and I don't mean prostitution. Women with jobs that got their shit together. You know, not hanging in a bar, not working in a bar. That's the kind of woman you want. But these kind of people, they're never going to get a quality, decent woman. It's just not going to happen. Test. Oh, yeah. Regent says, my dad's taking 150 milligrams of, of testosterone a week for the last 2 years. It was game-changing for him. He now has the testosterone levels of a healthy 35-year-old male. Cool. No, I've thought about things like that, but I never tried it. I wouldn't mind testing it, see if there's a difference in activity, so forth. But if it made a difference, but then you kind of become dependent on taking it all the time. It's another dependence because it's making you feel more energetic and maybe it makes you feel more youthful. But then you want to feel that way all the time, so you're going to just continue to take and spend money on testosterone. I don't want to get caught up in that. I got enough spunk and I got enough energy that I don't need to take that. But I wouldn't mind trying it though. But I'm afraid that if I did, it's going to be a regular thing. And I don't want to get caught up and get something else to take on a regular basis. I just don't like that. Popeye needs some testosterone in a big way. He might actually get off his mobility scooter and run after those blue-haired ladies at the bingo parlor, man. I think Popeye would be a great candidate to take some testosterone. What do you think, guys? TRT is just maintaining natural levels. I don't know. What's the difference? Is that what you call testosterone? You call it TRT, or is that a certain level of testosterone? I don't know anything about that. Frank, stick to your famous olive oil routine. Yeah, when I could buy another bottle, can't find it around here. All I find is these cheap renditions of what they call extra virgin olive oil. I don't need any other fucking chemicals in my body, thank you. I don't need any other chemicals. I got enough on a daily level. I'm functioning now, I'm fine, I'm happy with it. But sure, experimenting, I'd like to see what the difference is. I would. As they said, I'm afraid that it's going to make you feel a little bit too good. And then that's another bill every month. It's another prescription or something that you're consuming. I don't want that. But I'm functioning, so I could leave it at that. I'm functioning quite well, thank you very much, actually, to my surprise. Definitely to my surprise. I do got my moments, though, where during the day, I find myself almost falling asleep, but that could be several factors that's causing that. I've already discussed on another show. When my girlfriend walks in the room and I'm like snoring away for a few minutes, I said, what, did I fall asleep? I thought I was just nodding out. No, you were asleep. You were snoring. You got to be asleep if you're snoring. Maybe I didn't realize I fell asleep. I thought maybe it was just a short little, nod out. Everything's just nod out. You're tired or whatever. Then 2 seconds later, you wake up. That's normally what it is with me. Lack of getting appropriate length of sleep, quality of sleep. Sure, that's going to affect you big time. But I'm pretty much used to it. Yes, it is what it is. But sometimes I'm scared to try something new like that. I'd rather do things to my diet and everything and supplementation. And I swear to you, I'm telling you, I think I'm alive because of particular supplementation I've been doing for years and certain things I incorporate into my diet. I'm like really convinced that I'm sitting here talking to you guys and I'm able to because some of the good choices I made in my life, besides any bad choices. Yeah, I need to take some olive oil. It's really imperative. I haven't been to Cebu, and I said they sell alcohol around here. I mean, not alcohol, alcohol. There you go. They sell olive oil. They sell olive oil, but it's some cheap stuff. It's not worth spending the money on. It comes in a clear bottle. That's the first observation. It doesn't have a certified stamp on it. It's got to be certified as real extra virgin olive oil and cold pressed and all that stuff. You get plenty of cheap ass olive oil on the shelves, and the companies are making big buku bucks on selling remnants of the good thing. They're not quality stuff that they would not normally use. Just bottle it up. Don't even make the expense of putting it in a dark brown or green bottle. They just put it in a clear bottle. They don't want to spend the money even on that because it's cheap shit. It's cheap shit. Region says, Snappy Tom says, Frank, do you know dark? Know all about that, Tom. Do you know that dark chocolate is high in magnesium that support testo production? Yes, I'm a big advocate of dark chocolate. I'm a big advocate. In fact, I'm going to show you something. Even though it's made by Hershey's, it's chocolate, it's 100% cacao. We have it in here somewhere. I don't know where the hell it is. She said we still had it. I might even add that to my tea. How did you mention that, sire? Here we go, right here. Found it. You're not telling me anything I don't know. I do eat dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is one of the strongest antioxidants. This is called Hershey's Special Dark 100% cacao. 10 calories, 0 saturated fat, 0 sodium, 0 total sugars. Think I don't know this stuff? I'll tell you what we're going to do. Well, the caffeine is going to be an overload for me between the tea and this, but we're going to take, I just forgot I had this. We're going to take a small scoop of this. We're not going to get much, but that's a lot. I'm going to take a little bit of this. Now that you mentioned that, thanks for bringing that up. Now that's a cup of fucking tea. Look at that. Oh, yeah, the antioxidants from the green tea and the 100% cacao. That's going to energize my so-called frail ass. Oh my goodness, I can smell it. Oh my. So I forgot we had this left. That's 100% cacao. This is called Special Dark. It's a good product from Hershey's. It's not just milk chocolate they sell, but Hershey's is a chocolate company and they do have the real McCoy too. Regent says 2 days in a row now I've had to wake up at 3 a.m. I end up taking a nap in the early afternoon. It's normal. I'm tired. Okay. Well, I also take something to sleep. It's not an unknown thing I've talked about on here. And the chemistry of it stays in your system the next day. So I got to kind of qualify this as a factor in why maybe I might be sitting in the living room watching a movie, and according what type of day it is, really, and I start nodding out because the chemistry is still in my body, and since I take it every day, it's always there, and that's a contributing factor, absolutely. And the great thing is, though, I don't think I'm having too much trouble with the prostate because I'm not getting up overnight to pee. But what happens is when I do wake up overnight, I will take the opportunity to take a leak. Then I go back to bed and go to sleep. But I'm not purposely waking up at night because my bladder is full. I'm not saying it never happens, but it's not a normal thing for me. A lot of guys, they wake up, they got a really big prostate, a benign situation, but BPH, whatever you call it, and they get up multiple times a night to take a piss. Now, that's, of course, going to be terribly interfering with your sleep pattern, but it is what it is. You got to go, But I don't have that problem. At least I don't think I have. It's just coincidental. I had to take a pee after I got up. But once a night, if I wake up, and there's times I don't wake up at all, but I'm only with limited sleep, about maybe 6 hours. Let me see. Let me taste this puppy here. Not that combination. This could be like a humdinger with the fucking caffeine. Oh my goodness. Look at the ingredients I got in there. I got the, you want to call it calamansi or whatever, turmeric, ginger, black pepper, now 100% cacao. That's a potent drink right there. Reason says if you're waking up to piss at night multiple times, you should get your prostate. No, I'm not waking up overnight multiple times to go take a piss. No, that's not what's happening with me. And my prostate level is a 2.1, which means it's not, my chances of getting prostate cancer, for example, is very low. 2.1 was my most recent level that I had a lab test on. It's funny, you go to a doctor out here. I remember saying one time I had to have a digital exam, which I don't like. They want to feel your prostate. Good Lord. Okay, so how's my prostate? They'll say, it's normal for a person your age. Well, for a person my age, that means it's enlarged? What are you trying to tell me? For a person your age, it's normal. So is it double talk? Hey, you got a large prostate, motherfucker. Oh, that's normal for a person your age. Well, I take the test, and my PSA level, or the prostate antigen level, is 2.1, and that's actually really good. I was generally speaking not referring. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Let me take another sip of this bad boy here. I mean, what I just made here is not exactly something that I make because I feel that the taste is so wonderful. No, that's that little concoction is more on a medicinal basis. It's not for taste. It's not for the faint of heart. Let's put it that way. Let me ask Gilda about this. I'm going to ask her, is this calamansi, just large calamansi? Gilda, I got a question for you. Is those limes or lemons, whatever they are, isn't that just maybe large calamansi?
I don't know.
You're not even sure of that. And we're not even sure what the hell. I just put it in my tea, so yeah. It's got a lot of stuff in it. I mean, it's moist. I mean, it's not dried out. But I'm saying, look what they charge in the store for one lemon. 20 to 30 pesos for a fucking lemon.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And where did they get it from?
Yeah. Near Dina's house.
Oh, that's the stuff that came near Dennis's house? That was even down the road here? No shit.
Yeah.
Oh God, we got a supply here. Same shit. It's citric acid and all that. So yeah, have to do research. Yeah, I know it does look like the largest calamansi you'd ever seen. Calamansi, as most of you know, they're very small, green. They're very small, and you'll see them used in a lot of dishes out here. Even with the shomai, they give you some. It's made of peppers and calamansi and vinegar, whatever, red peppers and whatnot, and it's really tasty actually. And you take your shomai and you dip it in that. Man, this shit. That's a powerful cup of tea, folks. That's a man. It gets my stamp of approval. If I'm going to put my sunglasses around it, then my stamp of approval. high pheno, yeah, olive oil, or it's a waste. Yeah, I'm being more careful. You can buy, and I'll give you a little hint. Um, some of Kirkland's products on olive oil are really not too bad. And they're certified organic and certified this and that and this and that. So don't be shy around Kirkland because you think it's a cheap brand or something. No, Kirkland does make some good. The main thing is it really should come from Italy, and it should be certified to be the real McCoy. It should be certified. If it's not, you're just kind of wasting your money because I'll be honest with you, olive oil is very expensive. And you could cook with it, but olive oil is really made to be put on something. Bread, Italians do it. That's one of their favorite things to do. Greeks too, but Italians they dip their bread in olive oil and they eat it regularly. That's why a lot of people live longer. And yes, it does have to do with the arteries and everything like that. It certainly does. Hold on a second here. But I ran out of olive oil about 2 weeks ago, and I refused to buy anything locally here. I'd have to order it on Lasada or something, or just wait until I make my next trip to Cebu. But yeah, that's always belongs on my shelf. I do not let the kids or anything use it to go fry anything up and waste it. They will be using what are they using? Which is not good. It's not terribly bad, but it is a seed. They use canola. Okay, they use canola, which if you have to fry with something, canola would be not 100% bad, but it's still not good. Saturated fats and all kinds of shit. Now, any seed oil you want to avoid with a passion, any vegetable oil, any seed oil, that's a death wish. That's all I can tell you. It's a death wish. Because out here in the Philippines, they fry everything. There's nothing that goes unfried. Even fried bananas. They love that. Boy, do they love that. With a passion. She's done that. She's made a lot of bananas. But what did she do with them? I think she boiled them first, then fried them or something. Anyway, back to our topic. And I know we're kind of get leading into a whole bunch of different shit. But then again, that's what I do on my show anyway. Yeah, I just think I'm just a believer in that. You just have one fucking life, man, and try to put some elements in your life that's at least good besides anything that's bad. Try to create a balance in your life if you possibly can, or make an effort at doing so. It does make a difference. You will live longer and healthier. Get rid of the bad habits. I'm one of them that should. But I'm really proud to say that otherwise, I mean, besides one of my bad habits, and I make a point of it. I don't hide the fact that I smoke cigarettes. And I'm not making excuses on how much I smoke. It's not as much as people think. Hey, I'm smoking right now as I'm talking to you. I'll smoke not even half a cigarette, maybe take 4 drags out of the whole cigarette, and I throw the whole goddamn thing away, which is a waste of money, but it's that much less going on my body. I guess there's positive and negatives you could look at it, but smoking, period, is not good for you. That's my one bad. That's definitely my one bad. I wish I never, ever picked up a cigarette in my life. I regret it. But having parents that smoked probably contributed to that. And of course, peer pressure too. In high school, other people were smoking. But I only experimented in high school. I wasn't smoking cigarettes on any level or basis at all. It wasn't until I was going to college, and I was still only experiencing. Even the whole time I went to college. There's 2 colleges. I wasn't like smoking regularly. I buy some cigarettes now and then, and I have some cigarettes and all that. Then after a while, I started buying them regularly, but I still wasn't smoking a lot. I still wasn't. No, I wasn't. By the way, from the point of time that I told you I was sitting here smoking a cigarette, I was already done. I was already done and over with. If that gives you an example. People like Pop, I say, yeah, Frank, chain smoke. No, I don't chain smoke, Robert. And who's to say that you don't smoke? We don't know that as a fact. I think you do, because one smoker to another, I could listen to your voice, how gravelly it gets. Hey, my voice changed through the years. Sure, it changes things. But I could listen to Popeye, and I could definitely tell you that he smokes. That little telltale cough at the end of his sentence, and I don't even do that a lot. I think he's smoking the filterless shit. That's what I think he's smoking. This is not exactly a tasty drink I got here, but I'm going to finish it though. Blech, really. What's that? My dad, Regent says, my dad smoked for over 20 years without me or my brother knowing he smoked. Really? He really? What is about the lead is good? Mike says, what is the lead content in that cacao? I don't know. I don't think they're actually going to put it on the label and say there's lead in here. It says the lead is good. It helps you forget all your problems. Lead? How about all the chemicals in a cigarette? Oh, yeah, there's a lot. They purposely put these additives in there to get you addicted. But they purposely did it to get, he started out, you remember with the camel cigarettes like Popeye smokes, they used the camel, who looked like a really cool camel. He had a scarf around his neck. He had the sunglasses on, the cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and like a cartoon character. And the kids thought that was cool. So it was cool to smoke. Now, back in the 50s, especially when smoking really took place, when women, even prior to the 50s, but certainly in the 50s, were smoking because they thought it was glamorous, because they saw all these stars on the silver screen smoking, and they thought it was sexy, and they thought it was attractive, and they thought it was the thing to do. Peer pressure. It was glamorous to smoke, but a lot of them died of lung cancer. It was funny because I think the Marlboro Man, I don't think he died of lung cancer. That was a funny thing. Telly Savalas died of lung cancer. Remember Telly Savalas with a bald head, kind of looked like Barry? So let's just sum it up that no, it's not a good thing to do. Okay? And you don't have to tell me about it. I know. Every time I light up, I know. Yeah, he hid it from you because he didn't want your kids to smoke. He had a secret habit. He didn't want, but I'm sure you should have been able to smell the tobacco somewhere. I don't know how he hid that, because that's telltale. I mean, me, I'm the least respectable, and I'll change my shirts. I always wear a t-shirt to bed. I don't want to get bit by anything, have to be an ambient mosquito around or something like that. I always change my t-shirt. And twice a day, actually, I always change my t-shirt. Because to a non-smoker, they smell this shit more than you would. I use mouthwash. I'm very respectable around her. I don't smoke around her. If I'm outside and I'm smoking, I will be downwind of her. So I'm respectable in that fact that she doesn't have to inhale the crap that I'm inhaling. It's only fair. And you don't need to smoke to get emphysema lung cancer. You don't need to. The environment is doing a pretty damn good job. I think if you've never smoked a cigarette in your life and you live, especially in urban, it's not about smoking this whole show, but since we're on that subject, if you live in an urban environment, you're smoking whether you know it or not. Maybe you're not getting the thousands of chemicals they put in the cigarette, but you're getting enough, and your lungs are probably not pink and so healthy looking as you think they are. If you had a way of actually looking at your lungs as a non-smoker, you'd be awfully surprised. You'd be awfully surprised. You might as well put your fucking mouth on an exhaust pipe on a fucking jeepney, because that's what you're getting, especially out here in a third world country. Surprise! Surprise, surprise, surprise. So let's just leave it off as saying smoking is not good. I do not encourage anybody to smoke, to continue to smoke. If you could find a way to quit, try. It's very hard, and I know that to be very true. The funny thing is I get mad at myself. I was living in Hawaii, and I decided to quit smoking. Okay, so I did. I was successful for a couple of months. Wow, fantastic. I got to the point where that shit got out of my system. I didn't need to smoke anymore. I didn't go out and buy a pack. But then what happens is what normally happens. You might have some emotional or stressful moments in your life, and you just say, fuck it, I'm going to buy a pack. There was another time in Hawaii I quit smoking prior to that. And I'd be out somewhere. I didn't buy any cigarettes. I didn't buy them. I was in stores, but I didn't buy. But I'd see somebody smoking, and I kind of gave in. Gave them 50 cents even for a cigarette. Can you spare a cigarette? And with money in my hand, I said, sure. Cigarettes are expensive. In Hawaii, I mean, God, 10, 12, 15 bucks a pack, whatever they are these days. Other places, even more than that. Then I'd feel guilty for smoking. And guess what would happen? Take a wild guess what happened. I say, fuck it, I already ruined it for myself. Might as well buy a pack. You can't go around all the time asking people for a cigarette because you don't want to buy a pack. Not that you don't want to spend the money on a pack. It doesn't have to do with finance. It doesn't have to do with money, the amount. It doesn't have anything to do with that at all. Not at all. It's just that, it's just like drinking. You're going to quit drinking, and all it takes is one other drink, and you're going back to drinking again. Ask Jim. Ask Jim about that. Oh, this is strong. My bad. But the fact is, you got to put your mind to it, because what I did that time when I successfully quit, and my brother was happy about it. He didn't want to see me smoke, Didn't even think about it. I'd get up every day, do things, and it didn't require a cigarette, God, that felt so good, because you know what it is? You feel empowered. That's the word. You feel empowered when you could conquer something, whether it's drinking, whether it's smoking. You feel a feeling of empowerment that you never felt before. And I tore this puppy in half. I threw that trombone out the window. Overstate Road, trombone. I love that one. It's one of his originals I like. That trombone. I love it, actually. And it felt so good. It felt so good. Empowerment, my friends, empowerment. That's empowerment. When you can take control of something that's taking control of you. Pun intended, Regent. Regent says, bumming smokes off people is a bummer. Pun intended, yeah. Yeah, like the bummer. Absolutely. That's how it starts. If you're going to quit, you just quit, and you go through the agony of defeat. It doesn't affect your feet, but the agony of defeat. Just get off it. The way it works when you smoke it all the time, you don't even think about quitting. It's like when you're running low, it's toward the night, and you don't have many cigarettes left. You're thinking about tomorrow morning. How long is it going to take before you're going to go to the store again? you're going to need to buy another pack. By the way, I don't buy a bunch of packs of cigarettes a day. It's a pack per day. However, like I said, not that I need accolades, I don't smoke a whole cigarette. It's more of a nervous habit. I'll stand out there. I might be talking to you guys on here. You know it. I might be smoking at the time. I just take a matter of the most, maybe 4 drags, not even half a cigarette, and then I dispose of it. When I was in Hawaii, one of my brother's friends, and I'll get off the subject of smoking, but one of my brother's friends come over and had a coffee can, whatever it was. I used to dye my cigarettes out in. These were like half a cigarette left. And because tobacco was so expensive, what a waste, right? So one of his friends could have your leftovers, your smalls. Well, that's jail talk, smalls. Barry would know that. Although they don't use that terminology here in the Philippines. In America, they call them, usually prisoners and stuff like that. They call them smalls. I said, yeah, take them. They'd open it up and they take all the tobacco out of it. They got rolling paper and they roll it up. I said, take them whatever you want, come over regularly and take them. Because a lot of these people could not afford to buy a pack of cigarettes. And if you were even a name brand with so much money, I talked to a gal working in 7-Eleven down in Curtistown, which is the next town where I lived. I know you love all these stories. And she worked that job. This is how sad it gets. Both her and her husband smoked. And the money she was making at working at 7-Eleven was the money she needed to support the habit between her and her husband. I'm not shitting you. That's how bad it gets and how expensive it gets these days. Even if you buy a generic brand, they are more affordable than the name brands, but it's still a lot of money. It's still a lot of money. Obama gets fleeced for 10 cigarettes a day. Perhaps. I think he started smoking again because he was talking about it. I think I'm going to go back to smoking, because you're nerved up. You're in prison, man. Fucking yeah, I understand that, man. Come on. Shit, I might be smoking like a fish if I was in, never mind half a cigarette, man. It's hard to get cigarettes to begin with, and you're not going to go smoke 4 drags of a cigarette and throw it away. No, you're not in prison. You're going to smoke that trombone, down to the fucking filter. My girlfriend actually out there, and Marlene in the Philippines, she's Filipino. And she smoked, but when she smoked, man, she'd be on the phone with her sister or daughter or something, and she's sitting there on my deck smoking. And she'd take that puppy, that trombone, all the way down to the filter, the worst part of it, She was very money conscious. She had money in the bank, a couple $100,000, in fact, though she acted like she didn't have anything. But I've seen her papers. Believe me, I'm clever. I've seen what she was worth. When I kicked her out and she left some of her financial papers behind, I was quick to look at it. One bank account alone, she had 170,000. And then she had another bank account. I don't know what was in that. Because she married some Portuguese guy, and they had a house that was worth about, 560,000. So they went in half. So she got some, well, I don't know, do math on that. She made like 260,000, whatever it was on there, plus the furniture, which was nice furniture, a sleigh bed and all kinds of good shit, which she sold and got even more money for. Didn't even use it. If you seen where she was living at the time, you'd say, God, man, keep some nice furniture. But it wasn't a nice place to even put nice furniture in, so I understand. Oh yeah, it's what they do. And she seen that I had a house and all that. She figures that Frank is bullshit. He's got money. Then when she sat down and she was watching this movie, which just happened to be Grey Gardens. Here we go with the Grey Gardens. And she seen my name on there. She thought that, man, this guy's got money to have his name on a fucking award-winning movie. He's got to have money. He's bullshitting. And one of her famous lines, and I'll use her accent too. Oh, you got the money. You got plenty, not plenty, but plenty. You got plenty of money, which I didn't. I never did. And I was paying a mortgage on the house. I wasn't rich in any form or way. Then to make it even worse, according to how you look at it, what happened was that she saw I was getting orders, especially when HBO, when Grey Gardens movie was put on HBO, and everybody who was really into the Grey Gardens thing and Edith Beale, they were going crazy to try to find pictures of her. Who was selling it? Well, I was selling these photographs on eBay at the time, and I was getting these orders coming in practically left and right. I don't know about that intense, but I was getting orders. And we were about to leave the door, so I go, wait a minute, I got another order. I got to fill this order. And what that meant was I had to look at what size picture they wanted, what's the quantity, or how many different pictures they wanted. I had my contacts in Seattle, the guy who ran a lab, and we had this arrangement. I'd write him and say, okay, I need one copy, an 8x10 of image number 13, whatever it was. And I need an 11 by 14 size of image number 8. So he had the images all down. So he knew exactly what images they were. Okay. And he'd print it up. And what would happen is he would mail it out himself. Of course, there's a charge to this, but I was making such profit because what I was paying for the prints was not a lot of money. So I'd sell an 8x10 for like 25, 35 bucks. I'd sell 11 by 14 anywhere from 50 to 75 bucks. Pretty cool, huh? It didn't cost that much for him to print them. 11 by 14 might cost me $8 to print up. At 8x10 would cost maybe $4 or $5. So I put my cost or whatever on it on top of it, you know. He would, when he had a chance, walk this over to the post office, packaged up. He'd have the name of the seller, the address, and he'd mail it out to them. It was a pretty cool operation. I thought it was great. I think he's still running his, but his name is Dale. I haven't been in touch with him in a while, but I kept in touch. But I'm not involved with selling these pictures anymore. I could, but I think, you know, the thrill is gone. You know what I mean? Different generations now. Some don't even know who she is, but there are some very avid fans of Edith Beale and Grey Gardens lovers. Absolutely, there still is. It was a cult following, which you don't understand. Well, who the fuck is she? It was a fucking cult following. It was almost like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Not as intense as that, but transsexual. And people followed this shit, man. They loved her because she was quirky. The gays loved her. I mean, she still has a following today, but it's not worth me. I do have negatives that do belong to me. I had sold my negative collection, but I did not sell everything. I kept certain ones for myself, and sure, I could get them printed up and try to sell them on eBay. It's just not worth it. Enough is enough, you know. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this morning. Now I had my very quirky tea this morning. This was even more bizarro than what I normally have. I just discovered I still had the special dark 100% cacao. Right, Popeye? I had that. I thought I'd put it. I'm going to take a few more sips because this is just too powerful. Oh, the antioxidants flowing through my veins right now after I smoked a cigarette. Laugh, Popeye. Come on. Oh, I won't call it a soliloquy anymore. I'll call it a monologue. I know you're just falling apart on that one. I'll cave in, okay? Let's call it a monologue. That I don't have it right. It's a soliloquy to me, defined. But
If it's really giving you agita, I'll call it a monologue, okay? I'll give in. It's a monologue. All right, to make you feel better. All right, we'll do that for you. We're proud of you. I do gotta go. I'm gonna figure what to eat if my stomach could handle anything after eating such a drinking a rich cup of tea here. That's as rich as it can possibly get. The ingredients, as I call them, ingredients that's put into there. Anything new from Bummer? He's been posting these rah-rah, American things with music and how he's so proud of America, being an American, and how he follows MAGA, and how the injustice that's in America against the Republican Party, but he's falling apart now because his hero is going down in flames. His hero is going down in flames. And when the full Epstein files comes out, his health is going to deteriorate even more than this. They've showed videos of him walking, and the camera concentrated on both of his lower legs. It is believed two things are going on with him, by the way, Barry, that he is using braces to walk. First of all, the theory was that he had some kind of a colostomy bag, or basically a urine bag, catheter, for his pee, because he couldn't hold his pee. Because they seen in the front of him, there was a bulge to the side, and it wasn't his fucking penis. He's hiding a lot from the American public, that's for sure. He's hiding a lot. But he's going down in flames, I'm very happy to say. I don't wish that on everybody, but this guy is evil. Evil speaks, evil makes its appearance, and we know some evil people here on YouTube, don't we? Pure, unadulterated fucking evil. That's part of their life and their makeup. We don't need these evil people, do we? They got to go down in flames too, in a big way. Oh my God, where are these things coming from? Jesus Christ, there we go. The ants again. You want to see this? Because there might have been some cocoa on the floor. Do you see this? Look. Okay. A little bit of food on the floor. Been some little particles of the cocoa that I just took out. They could have been. It doesn't take much. That's a smorgasbord to them. To them, that little shit was little to you. Is a fucking buffet to these little fuckers. It's a freaking buffet. And we joke about ants a lot on here, but yeah, there's ants everywhere, man. Everywhere you go, not just in the Philippines. You'd be surprised also how many mosquitoes actually are in Alaska. You go live in the Alaska bush. You're either going to have to become immune somehow, or you're going to have to wear something or just cover up from head to toe. I think one of the worst places, is Alaska. You wouldn't think in a country like that there'd be so many mosquitoes, but there is. I live and learn on my show. Okay, I do got to go. I got to figure, I don't know, I might hold off on eating because that cocoa in my tea was awfully heavy. It was some pretty heavy duty shit. I'm going to hold off on what I'm eating this morning. Give my stomach a rest. Too much caffeine in there. Green tea contains caffeine, not a lot, but it contains caffeine. You can't get away with that. And you don't want to buy decaffeinated because it doesn't carry all that wonderful chemicals in there, as much of it as regular caffeinated tea does. Keep that in mind. You're getting less of the polyphenols and whatever you get in tea by buying decaffeinated. Oh, you'll get some of the good shit in there, decaffeinated. It's hard to find decaffeinated around here. It might be 2 bags or whatever. And even decaffeinated still has some caffeine in it. It's not totally without caffeine. It has caffeine, just a reduced amount. So it's kind of a bullshit thing going on when they're going to label something caffeine-free when you know damn well that it's not. Lies, and pure lies everywhere. in life, on YouTube, all lies. People can't keep it real. Yeah, go to the bars, get fucking drunk, stupid, and make an ass of yourself. If that's the only way you can get women, God bless you. But I just think it's pretty sad. And that pattern will continue all their life. They never will be able to get a true woman that's really interested in them for them, their personality. No, they're going to go on the rest of their life drinking, killing their liver, making a fool out of themselves in public, and pretending that you're a ladies' man when you're so far from being a ladies' man. So dramatically far. It's the liquor talking. It's the desperation talking. That's all it is. You know that. I know that. So, are we supposed to envy these alcoholics going to bars and cavorting with all these women? Well, that's what you want. It's your gig. But we all know.
All right, welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? uh, oh, I'm here, dude. I just had to turn the TV down. Sorry about that. What did we learn tonight? He was very passive tonight when it came to Jay, because Jay's in country, I guess, you know. Uh, the saddest part of all of it is the way he talks about Barry. Now, I'm not saying Barry's a good guy, but Jesus Christ. I mean, the guy's in jail. He's locked up. I mean, how much more do you have to go after this guy? I mean, and then you watch Frank. Barry posts a little something and he gets triggered. Ah, I hope you enjoyed the sound effects. I had to re-up my subscription to StreamYard because the complimentary 20 hours was running out. And I like doing it on StreamYard because you can always invite somebody up who can chat with you and you can have a good time with. If Frank is a socialist, he should like Barry because they are equally poor. If Barry farts, not only will Frank listen, he will sniff. Yeah, Frank is a bit of a dog. Bit of a dog. And I mean, now I'm not one to judge. If you smoke, that's your business. Okay. If you drink, that's your business. Okay? I'm not here to insult you or talk down to you. That's your business. Okay? But when you start saying like Popeye smokes, Popeye drinks this, he smokes camels. I mean, don't project what you do onto me, right? And again, this leads back and shows you what a narcissistic asshole he truly is. This is something a narcissist will do. They will project all the bad things that they do onto you. They'll say, you're the one doing them, right? And it's really fucking sad. I mean, and then you could hear in his voice at the end of the show, it really fucking killed him that I taught him the difference between a soliloquy and a monologue. And he still doesn't get it. He doesn't get the fact what an illiterate piece of shit he is. He needs to take a vocabulary class. You remember way back, second, third grade, we had vocabulary class, where we learned the meaning of words. We were just starting learning how to read. He is as stupid gets, without a fucking doubt. All right. And he gets pissed when you prove him wrong, and he does not want to admit it. It was the only point of last night's monologue that he would succeed. And what's so funny is I kept last night's monologue short, and I did that for a reason. Because this guy has the attention span of a fucking gnat. He has the memory of a 2-cell amoeba. Okay? Simple as that. And so, you know, what do you do with a guy like this? Well, all I could tell you, he should cool his jets because guys like Jay, Ricky, Mick Fisher, they might show up there one day. And even though you say you're ready for it and you can handle it, the only thing you can handle, Frank, is whipping out your phone to get the evidence. That's it. Your phone is your shield. You use that phone as a shield so nobody will kick the shit out of you. You did it to Ricky like 3 fucking times. Okay? 3 goddamn times. Okay? When Mick Fisher came to visit you, dude, how many times he tell you to turn your fucking recorder off? No, do not record me on your camera. Multiple fucking times, but you kept trying to fucking do it. Right? This shows me what a fucking weasel you are. Okay? You are a true fucking weasel. You could never face another man without some gimmick in your hand that would prevent them from knocking your teeth out like chiclets. Do you have the ability to do commentary while he is live? If you could get Nico or Dave to join you, it would be funnier than RRR. Yeah, I do. I could turn my mic on. I could pause him. But I like to let him run uninterrupted. So you all get the full experience. And then I give my monologue afterwards. And today I've added sound effects, so for now on, every time he says something that isn't true, you'll hear the laughing go off. Every time he pats himself on the back, you'll hear a gong sound. So, guys, just remember that. Oh, man. But, yeah, I mean, and I highly doubt Dave will come back. Dave is too busy with work, family. Uh, he doesn't really have time for YouTube. I- And I want to say welcome in, Patrick. Welcome in, Chasing Tail. Good to see you there, shipmate. Welcome in, Steve 25901. Welcome in, Hell on Earth. Welcome in, John S. Welcome in, Chris Cato. Who else we got in the live chat today? We got a lot of good people in the live chat, I tell you. We got ET Travel Freely, yes. We got the great and one and only Flying Circus, yes. Guaranteed. We got Mike Luna. Welcome in, Mike. Welcome in. Let's see. Let's roll all the way back here. See if I got. And we got Chris Travels. Welcome in, Chris Travels. All right. So you notice he didn't really go after me like he went after me last night. I think my monologue set him straight. Yeah. And this is what he does. He gets angry, gets triggered, and he backs off. Then he gets pissed again, and he says shit he shouldn't say. And basically, I do this simulcast for about 2 or 3 reasons. Number one reason, you guys like it. You get to come into the live chat. You get to say what you want to say. That's number one. And I enjoy that you guys get to say what you want to say. That makes me happy too. All right, because there's nothing I hate more than going into somebody's live chat and you can't be honest and upfront with them. Okay. And you watch him, he just keeps deleting people when he sees something he doesn't agree with. And this is narcissistic behavior. In order to get along with a narcissist, you have to agree with everything he says. You have to take everything he says as gospel. Right? This channel doesn't do that. If you disagree with me, that is fine. Okay. And the second reason I do this is because it triggers him. And just to see him get triggered is just fucking hilarious. Let's end our poll and see what the results are. Okay, our poll tonight was, do you think Frank was molested by a Catholic priest? And is that the reason why he is a pedophile? Out of 25 votes, 60% said yes, 40% said no. All right, and that's tonight's poll. Now, if you guys feel I don't ask honest questions or you have a suggestion for a poll, please let me know in the live chat or after the live stream. Leave it in the comment section, and I will take all serious contenders under serious consideration. All right? Frank done the molesting. Okay. So December is coming, and I will be doing the Christmas special. Okay. So you guys will get the Christmas special this year. And I will more than likely, let me look at my calendar here. I will more than likely do it. Yes. Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the 23rd of December. Okay. And if I do it that day, that evening, on that day, in Philippines, it will be Christmas Eve, 8 a.m. in the morning. Okay. So that's when I'm going to do the Christmas special. I've been behind the scenes putting stuff together to entertain you guys. He gave the priest a come hither look. That's a good one, Steve. So I hope that sets well with you guys. And I hope you enjoyed the simulcast tonight. Mike Dowdy, 7 a.m. Christmas Eve on my calendar. Yes, and I will be putting up the live stream notification soon. So that way you can come to the channel at any time if you've forgotten when it's going to be and see what it's going to be. All right. So I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. And I appreciate all you guys. Okay. And let's give you a big round of applause. Yeah. All right, guys. This is Popeye 1. I'm out of here.